to serve you. When they start them there, we are top man, we take charge. Magnum we drink and we are shell down hard. Blast like a star with some galapar. Overdo it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man then. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. Hot blend, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly.
The South 99.9 FM.
Rams is for you and me. Giving back to community. Rams is for you and me. Better for your family. Better service, better price, better value, better choice. Rewarding you for loyalty. Rams is for you and me. Better price and quality.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
If you need insurance, our service is the best. Home motor insurance can give you more for less. Property insurance can save you a lot of stress. At TDC Insurance Company Limited, we care about your investment. Guarantee you peace of mind. The best team in the business. Guarantee you peace of mind. No other company will. Guarantee you peace of mind. Together we'll succeed and guarantee you peace of mind. TDC Insurance Company Limited, where you get more coverage for less.
Welcome back. Let's head to the phone lines and we'll take our first call for this morning. Caller, you're on the air.
Boy, good morning, Devonne. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good, thanks.
You going to ask me how I do? Please.
How are you doing today?
I'm not accustomed to it, right? Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm giving God thanks for life and health and strength, you know.
Awesome.
Thank you all those who called me yesterday to give me their greetings. Now, I listened to this news. They were talking about Antigua. And it was said that there had been no murders in Antigua for the year. Did you hear that?
No, I did not.
When they were talking about the Pampas Prime Minister, they mentioned that there has been no murders in Antigua for the year. So I am asking, how many have we clocked up so far?
We
11, somebody say?
we have 11. Yes.
11. You know how much is 11? I was wondering if we have so much self-hatred. Self-hatred. Antigua is around the corner. Other countries bigger, but Antigua is bigger. And they have none. So what is the matter with our people? You know, a friend told me that her brother got robbed over the weekend. The brother come out of the car and they were waiting for him, you know. Took his phone and wanted the wallet. Well, this music festival that we're having, you could expect more, you know. They don't want to work, and they want to go VVIP. I mean, really, you know, it grieves me, you know, it grieves me. Thank God I only have one son, and he's a big man now, God bless him. But when you have a boy child, I always say so, you know, when you have a boy child in these days and times, you really got to start praying from the time the doctor scan and ultrasound and says a boy, you know. Because your boy could be behaving and still get killed. Because they don't care who in the way when they're shooting. And some of these areas, they should have a house-to-house search. We might have to face it. That's what they do in Jamaica, you know. They have state of emergency for some areas, you know, that's right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, all like St. Peter's and things so have state of emergency for that area and go house to house and all the bushes, because some of the place is bushy. And look at the movement of the people during the day. Who is bringing in all these bullets? Because obviously the bullet ship has arrived. Or the bullet plane. Why we have so much shooting, so much killing? Who is responsible for the provision of the ammunition? You know, we like to count, right? We wake up in the morning, before we say we praise, we look to see who get killed. I mean, that's what we come to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and nobody get killed last night, as if it is productive. As if it is productive, we have got to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we so hateful? But then you hear it expressed, you know. You hear the parents expressing hate. Somebody talk on the radio, and oh, that is, and they cuss and they carry on. And you got your young child standing up there. Or the person belong to a political party that you don't support. And you, they're supposed to be taken out. But the child listening to you, you know. So the child understand that the way to settle dislike and conflict is to eliminate, because you can't tell me. Some of them are even related. You know? You kill your cousin, well, your mother have to cry for you, and your mother have to cry for your cousin. And it's young men. So maybe we need to have psychological analysis of our young men, the good one and the not so good one. What is it? Somebody will say, oh, it's what they eat. Not. Bible say, what go in your mouth, come out behind. It's the heart. Your heart have to be very dark to pull a trigger and kill somebody. No, and you live in the same area. Everybody is cousin to everybody.
Right, most people grow up together, yeah.
Yeah. So when the balling starts with that one, your mother going to be balling too. And this, because the young women are the carriers of the gun, you know that. Mm-hmm. The other day, one got some years. She had a police, you know. So, when was the last time they checked the armory at the defense post camp?
That's a question for the police, but I have no idea.
Well, I asked it, the chief of the army, when was the last time you did an audit? Because since they say the border safe, they have to be coming from someplace. When was the last time the police did an audit on the ammunition? Some things that so far off, we got to begin to look. We've had cases where soldiers or whatever you want to call them have stolen or taken away ammunition and distribute them. So, Mr. Army man, Mr. Captain of the Army, please to do an audit, or stock taking is a better word, of what we have and who was the person in charge of it. Because we have to begin to ask hard questions. How could all of these people be getting so much bullets, ammunition? Some of them had the guns, because they didn't take them in. And what is the role of the former gang leaders in bringing order? They were the ones who wanted the peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
They no longer want peace. You ever think about it?
Mm-hmm. I have.
Yeah, they have. They didn't ask anybody. They said, look, enough of this killing. So what number are you aiming at? What number before you intervene? Because, the young men, they're in the area, and what we have now is a younger set trying to take over from an older set. Because some of the older ones, they're too old, they can't run. The fellas are younger and stronger than them. So I'm calling upon the former leaders of the gangs, because they're still around in the island unless they migrate, to intervene. Because just like the mafia, the leaders exert authority over them, When they say, I don't want to hear next bullet fire up the village or new town, the younger ones got to fall in line. So what is driving it? And I am calling upon all of the community leaders. All of the politicians from the three parties, let me get straight to it. During the campaign, a lot of the younger men and women were rallying for your party. That's correct, right? Some of them were known for what they do. Well, whatever reason, I don't know, they're fighting for the party still. But I am calling upon our political leaders, not the permanent secretary, the one who was out there through the alleys, up the road, down the road, talking to our people to get back out there. Same way you're flying all over the place and cleaning up the treasury. It doesn't cost anything in St. Kitts. Dr. Harris, get your set. Richard Sean, get your set. And Dr. Drew, get your set. And the hurtful thing, Dr. Drew constituency, Mount Kill, where he come from. I should agree with me, because it make it look really bad. The frequency of the shooting. So I am saying, take a day or so and go through the communities. Talk to the same young men. They rally behind you to get you in or get you out. Have some communication with them. Some of them long to see some of you. Some feel abandoned because their self-worth depended on their participation.
All right.
All right, then.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. This is Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Devonne Cornelius. The phone lines are open and we'll be welcoming your calls at 466-0989. Sorry, all right, 662-0989 for USA and Canada. The numbers are 718-285-6984 or 305-921-4619. And for the UK, that's 033-344-0065. If I could switch gears a bit and go into this topic that has been a major talking point for some time, is the Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP. I'm looking at a press release or a release here from the Sinkers and Nevers Information Service. It says cash transfers of $500 are continuing every month to qualifying citizens and residents as the government provides support under the Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP. It says that estimates on government expenditure for the PAP will run into the neighborhood of $30 million to $40 million this year, as people continue to register for support, while others graduate as their economic situation improves. Prime Minister Dr. Drew, who is responsible for finance, said that the government is working to enhance opportunities so that people can enjoy a better life. The PAP program, Poverty Alleviation Program. Over the weekend, I received some questions about the graduation process, and I think this kind of defines it in a nutshell. The line that I read when it says, while others graduate as their economic situation improves. So if you are on the Poverty Alleviation Program and you are told that you're about to graduate, I would take this to mean that you will no longer be in the program, because it's a Poverty Alleviation Program, and you are now in a better position. When they did a relaunch of the program, they announced a number of measures and steps that they would take to properly, properly assess the people who are currently in the program, so that the office can determine if people are really in need, for those who would have to be in the program a bit longer, for those who they think should be removed from the program, and allow for other persons to join. And so that is what the graduation process is about. People have been sharing their views on it and believe that there should not be a graduation process. What are your thoughts? The phone lines are open and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. We'll take this quick break, however, and when we come back, we'll take some more calls.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
TDC for service, TDC for quality. TDC your company, TDC for service, TDC for quality. TDC your company. Together we succeed, building our strong community, pressing onward to our destiny. One love, one family. Together we succeed. Let the whole world see. Yes, this is 50.
When the star them there, we are top man, we take charge. Magnum we drink and we are shell down hard. Blast like a star with some gallopar. Overdo it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man them. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. Hot blend, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow, now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the program. So I'm on the topic of the Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP, and as I said, people have been asking questions about the status of the program, if they are still accepting new applications for this program. So I'm looking at the website, pap.gov.kn. That's the official website for the Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP. It says that we are no longer accepting new applications for the Poverty Alleviation Program. However, this article from the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service says, I'm quoting, estimates on government expenditure for the PAP will run in the neighborhood of $30 to $40 million this year as persons continue to register for support, while others graduate as their income situation improves. So maybe it's a situation where when people graduate, it makes room for others to join. I do agree that, well, firstly, it's a social assistance program, poverty alleviation program, and these programs are not designed for people to be on them forever and ever. Amen. There are some people who do that once you are added to the poverty alleviation program. You'll be on it for a very, very long time. But the name of the program says it all, poverty alleviation. And so you are on the program for, whether it be 3, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, all in an effort to improve your economic situation. And so the office responsible for the management of this program, I think, will be doing the necessary assessments to determine if people are truly, as they would say, graduating, to determine if people are truly, if their situation, if that is improving, so that other people will be able to join the program. But you know how social assistance programs work in government systems, where there's some people who are of the view that, once you join a social assistance program, because it is operated by the government, that you should be on it for a very long time. And because, we live in a society where everything is very political these days, truth be told, it's kind of hard to take people off these programs, because then, they kind of hold the politicians the message and say, well, I vote for you, and you take me off the program, and, I'm not saying that is how it should be, eh? So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm just saying that is how it is. That is how it is. Some people will be like, but I vote for you, I put you in office, and you take me off the PAP program, and, so... It will be interesting to see how this is going to work, considering that, well, according to the information in front of me, that they are no longer accepting new applications for the PAP, and the graduation process. I spoke to a few people who are totally against the graduation process. As I've said, I understand. It's a social assistance program, and you can't be on these programs forever. There has to be a graduation process. I think where the question lies is, how do you know if a person's situation, has improved? How do you know if things are better for them? The office responsible for the management of the program have said that they will be doing some assessments to determined. You don't want a situation where you incorrectly assess someone and say, okay, this person is now in a better position, and so this person can be removed from this program. And then you find a few months later they're back in the same situation they were. And so maybe perhaps what they would have to do, if they're not already doing it, is include some financial tips, workshops, or things like these, like those that would really help people. So instead of just giving them that $500 or that $1,000, whatever the amount is, at the end of the month, really try to help them, because if you're just giving them that money, then it may not necessarily improve their situation, because it also has to do with the mindset as well, and how disciplined you are. The phone lines are open, and we're taking your calls at 466-0989, 662-0989. If you are in USA or Canada, that's 718-285-6984 or 305-921-4619. And for the United Kingdom, that is 033-344-0065. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Hello, caller. You are on the air. Good morning.
Oh, yes, I'm calling since everybody busy, since everybody eating the leftovers for Mother's Day, Because they're not calling. Anyway, now, if the bar is set at 3,000, even if the minimum goes to 500, they're still under. You realize that?
Explain that. I'm not sure if I quite understand.
Those who qualify must be earning less than 3,000.
Oh, yes.
It has been proposed that the minimum should go to 500. That still keeps you below the 3,000. Do a little math, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
4 times 5, even 5 times 5.
Yes.
Whether the people move or not has to do, it falls in the government lap, There has to be economic activity. Increase economic activity. You will remember that a lot of the women, the females, because with the work they're planning to have with the construction, is mostly male. And all the women who would have lost their jobs on the industrial sites and in some of the wholesale and retail places are still unemployed. Are you aware of that?
Mm-hmm.
So they are still not working. And even I said that you carry it up to 5. You'll have to carry it up to maybe $7.50 a week, which is almost twice the minimum wage now. So we have to bear this thing. Now, when they said that they were cleaning up the PAP, they had 3 categories, You remember that?
Yes.
The elderly.
I'm trying to find that information.
The elderly, the disabled, I think women with disabled children, and 3 categories it is. The elderly, the disabled, and women are people with disabled children. That is what they said they were doing in the first instance. Of course, that knock off all the rest, because they even said that even if you were below the 3,000, if you did not fall into those 3 categories, you're taken off, and you will be put out at some later date when they change the thing. And to say that as you really read, they're not taking, but what they're doing, they're putting on the people. The same thing about I vote for you. And what is missing in the SKNIS report is the number, how many persons are receiving the PAP money. How many were there when they came in? Because they said something 11,000, right? Was it 11,000, they say, or 12? And the last count I had was 2,000 something. Some of them should have been off. All they had to do to check to check the Social Security. And bearing in mind that the criteria is must be a household, they did not define a household, you know. Because household has a meaning statistically, even when we're doing population. Do you know the meaning for household in terms of population count and so?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Tell the people. Now maybe you could tell them, because if I tell them, people can't believe. Because they were complaining that 5 people in a house, in a dwelling, we call them dwelling, were receiving. In some cases, it is legitimate, you know. Legitimate. So you take off the mother, the uncle, and whatever, and each of them are actually individual household living in the same dwelling. And as to who should collect the money is another discussion. But it is dishonest because, as you said, they're putting on, they're replacing. If you're not taking any more registration, and if you don't qualify in those 3 things before, then you are in fact corrupting it. And how many millions they're going to charge? How many millions were they paying in 2022? 2018. How many millions each year? Do you have any idea?
The same, about between 30 and 40.
But that doesn't make no sense. That doesn't make no sense. If you took off thousands of people, for whatever reason, qualified or disqualified, how come you're paying the same amount? It's maths, you know. To get the economy and running to provide jobs, all of this traveling, they have not even brought back one factory to make a toilet paper.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the graduation process of the program?
The graduation is easy. Remember, they're using the Social Security data. If you are working, then your wages are reported or recorded at the Social Security. So they don't have to go ask anybody. All they have to do is send your name to Social Security, and they would get back the answer.
Well, I'm not talking about whether the process is easy. Do you believe that people should be graduating from the program?
I tell you already, below. And right now, the thing is so way below the criteria.
So should they be graduating or not?
Well, if I can put in my people, some of you got to go. Some of your PAM and PN people got to go. That's how we graduate, you know. Politics don't kill us. When you go to Nevis, well, take off the NRP or the CCM people and put on who you favor. That's how they're graduating, because if I go online and I can register, well, how come more people are being brought on? So you're saying, according to their thing that they put out. Please, y'all get the economy going.
All right.
So that women, because what we ended up now with is an informal economy. And it is small. Women out there making a little 100, a little whatever. They still cannot reach 3,000. So when we're talking, we can have salary increase and minimum wage increase. Well, let me tell you in case about your economist didn't tell you, Mr. PM. Everybody who wants the minimum wage, after you would have increased, it will still be below the mark for the PAP. So what are you going to do? The only thing left to do now is to drop the mark for the PAP. Anybody over 2,500, come off.
All right,
do the
then.
maths. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Devonne?
all right, yeah.
All right, then.
Yeah, thank you, caller, for your contribution to the program. Let's take this break to acknowledge our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, we're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Enjoy the convenience of getting all your documents in one place. At the TDC Copy and Print Center on 4th Street in Basse-Terre, we do just that. We offer document formatting, graphic design, and copy and print services. Our team of professionals truly understand all your needs, whether it be administrative, professional, academic, or personal. You bring it, we deliver it with quality every time. Visit the TDC Copy and Print Center today in the TDC Mall on 4th Street in Basse-Terre or call 465-2511. Your copy and print specialists are waiting to serve you.
When the star them there, we are top man, we take charge. Magnum we drink and we are shell down ours. Blast like a star with some Galapagos. Overdo it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man them. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. Hot blend, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly.
Welcome back to the program. For those of you who are just joining, we are on the topic of the poverty alleviation program. And as I said, people have been given their take on the program, whether they think there should be a graduation process. And the question is, how do you determine, while we understand that, the office responsible for the poverty alleviation program, they have already determined how they are going to assess people's economic situation. So they would know if you are in a better position or if you would have to remain on the program. But people, you see, when you're accustomed to that $500 every month, and whether you need it or you don't need it, because we also heard stories of people who, in a household, and within that household, there are people in there who are gainfully employed, and the household itself is making up to $10,000-$15,000 per month, while you have others who are in need of that extra $500, whether it be to pay school fees, their electricity bill, their water bill, their food bill. And then you have other people who took advantage of it. Very, very, very unfortunate, boy. And so, you have a program now, social assistance program, and because of, us being, everybody, always want to put politics into everything. There's some people who, they're not going to be too pleased when you tell them that they're going to have to graduate from the program. Nobody's going to want to have to graduate from receiving $500 a month. And so I think the office, the Ministry of Finance, whoever responsible for the poverty alleviation program, they have a task. They have a task at hand. And I'm being realistic. Based on the conversations that I've had with people who are on the program and people who are trying to get on the program. I'm sure there are people who are not even in poverty, but they see it as, but let me get this extra $500 here. Meanwhile, there are others who are in genuine need. You understand? Genuine need of being on a program. And for whatever reason, they can't get on. It's crazy. Guys, it is 12 here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9. And I'm your host for today's edition of Voices, Devonne Cornelius. Let me say thank you so much for joining the program. We'll take a break for the headline news. And when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Remember the numbers to call: 466-0989, 662-0989. For those of you in USA or Canada, you can call us at 718-285-6984 or 305-921-4619.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com. Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With the Win Midday News, I am Devonne Cornelius. In our headlines, shooting fatality in St. Peter's under investigation. The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis has recorded another homicide, bringing the total to 11 for 2023. Police say investigations are ongoing into the shooting fatality that occurred on Sunday, May 14, 2023, in Lower Monkey Hill, St. Peter's, St. Kitts. The incident claimed the life of 21-year-old Wani Richardson of Lower Monkey Hill. Reports indicate that Richardson briefly left his home shortly before 10 p.m. A short while later, he was found with multiple gunshot wounds about the body. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The crime scene unit of the police force processed the scene and collected items of evidential value. The investigation into this incident is ongoing and the public will be appropriately informed. Police are investigating the armed robbery of Mem's Pizzeria in Nevis on Saturday, May 13, sometime after 11 p.m. A statement from the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force confirmed that the incident occurred after the business had closed. Reports indicate that one of the proprietors, Jamila Wallace of Cherry Garden, was approached by two armed assailants while she was parked in the business's yard. The robbers demanded money and proceeded to steal her bag and phone. Upon realizing there was a robbery in progress, the staff closed the business's entrance door. The robbers then fired several shots at the building, wounding staff member Maria Merchant of Stony Grove, Nevis. She is currently warded at the Alexandra Hospital and is in stable condition. The crime scene unit processed the scene and collected items of evidential value. Police have seized one Smith & Wesson revolver handgun whose barrel contained 5.32 caliber rounds of live ammunition. This discovery is as a result of a jointly executed search warrant by the police force and the defense force on the premises of Akeem and Anthea Sage of Central Fines Avenue, McKnight on Friday, May 12, 2023. The warrant permitted the search for weapons, illegal drugs, and other items suspected of being used in the commission of a crime.
In regional news,
this is the Carib Update News Service. I am Wendy Shacho reporting. Jamaican and UK police reported to be tracking narcotics ring between London and Kingston. This is the big story we're tracking this hour on Monday, May 15, 2023. Details of this story and more straight ahead. Now for the details. Jamaica's narcotics police and their UK counterparts are reported to be tracking a number of drug couriers sent to Jamaica to collect cocaine as part of an international drug trafficking network operating between Jamaica and the UK. Radio Jamaica is reporting that 6 of the suspected couriers have been arrested and more than 50 pounds of cocaine seized by the narcotics police over the last 2 weeks. According to the report, the couriers were nabbed at Sangster International Airport attempting to smuggle cocaine with a street value of more than $100 million. Police in Trinidad and Tobago have arrested 3 women, all in their 20s, on suspicion of running a prostitution ring there. This after a 19-year-old Venezuelan migrant who ran away from the ring told police of her being abducted, raped, and sold into sexual slavery in Trinidad. Among her reported ordeals was being taken to an apartment in Maraval with a gun to her head and being told by a man that she was sold to them as a prostitute. But according to the police, the woman was able to flee the apartment but was chased by 3 Venezuelan women to a bar in the area. She was beaten at the bar, but patrons intervened and rescued her. She was then taken to the police station. United States President Joe Biden praised Trinidad and Tobago as one of the U.S.'s strongest allies in the Caribbean. Biden made this comment when he congratulated the Prime Minister on the honorary degree he received from Howard University in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. Dr. Rowley received an honorary Doctor of Letters degree from the university during its convocation ceremony held at the Capital One Arena. Biden also received an honorary Doctor of Letters degree from the university and delivered the commencement speech at the ceremony. This is Newsbreak from the Carib Update News Service. In more news, around 200 Cubans marched in Havana on Saturday to the rhythm of conga, a popular dance protesting against homophobia and transphobia and celebrating the legalization of same-sex marriage. Chanting "Socialism yes, homophobia no," demonstrators chaired the family code passed last September. The code permits surrogate pregnancies as long as no money changes hands and legally recognizes same-sex adoptions, as well as several fathers or mothers in addition to the biological parents. It also defines marriage as the union between two people rather than that of a man and a woman, while boosting the rights of children, the elderly, and the disabled. The march was led by Mariela Castro, daughter of one of Cuba's revolutionary leaders, Raul Castro, and a supporter of the family code, alongside Lisa Cuesta, wife of President Miguel Diaz-Canel. Jamaica's Labour and Social Security Minister Carl Samuda has confirmed he will soon retire from the cabinet there. Samuda told Radio Jamaica on the weekend that he will keep to an earlier promise to step down by mid-term. He said the departure process started on Friday when he met with Permanent Secretary Colette Roberts-Ridsden and other members of the executive team. He's now anticipating the official announcement by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Samuda, who is 81, confirmed that his age led him to put the Prime Minister on alert regarding his impending departure from ministerial duties. This has been another edition of Newsbreak from the Carib Update News Service, the Caribbean's newsroom. I am Wendy Chateau.
We now bring you these international reports.
Right, let's return now to developments at Twitter. Elon Musk has named the advertising executive Linda Yaccarino as the new CEO of the company. She's expected to start work in 6 weeks. She's been the head of advertising sales at the media giant NBC Universal. So what does all this mean? We can speak to Tiffany Shu, technology reporter at the New York Times. Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So what do you make of this appointment?
It's somehow stunning and also not stunning. She is a powerhouse in the industry, and she, I've heard, has been angling for this kind of a role for quite some time.
And what kind of benefit will she bring to Twitter?
What kind of benefits won't she bring? She is known as a convener. She's very good at developing relationships. She's very good at connecting people in a way that doesn't promote conflict. She is a pro in the advertising industry. Everyone respects her. She's widely beloved. The hope is that she is able to pull Twitter out of really the wreck that it's become in terms of advertising revenue.
And that's clearly her area of expertise, and making the company profitable pretty high up on Elon Musk's to-do list.
Yeah, it's been surprising because it seems that in choosing Linda, Elon's decision is to not focus on social media expertise. It's to focus on the money, on the advertisers. And for years, this is a man who's had a very touchy relationship with Madison Avenue. He said before that he doesn't like advertising and that he doesn't think it's necessary, but it seems that he's now changed his tune.
That's interesting, isn't it? And of course, we should say he's not leaving the company. He's still staying on. And of course, he still has that Twitter account of his own. So we're still going to be hearing a lot from him.
So many of the people I've talked to in the advertising industry have said that Linda will do a fantastic job, assuming that Elon stays out of her way and that she can convince him to maybe tweet somewhat less than he usually does.
And what about the impact on the other businesses? Because he has several, and shareholders of those other businesses have been calling for a while, saying, hey, listen, you need to focus your attention on these other businesses too.
The word has been that Elon's interest in Twitter has been waning for quite some time, that he maybe wasn't expecting Twitter to be such a complicated business. I had one source tell me that Twitter is nearly an impossible business run. And so it makes sense that he'd be willing to relinquish some control to Linda. This is a field that she's used to. She's obviously a very capable operator. And it wouldn't be surprising if Elon says, you know what, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Have at it.
That is interesting. Right, we will wait to see what happens on that, and we'll see if your prediction comes true. Tiffany Shue, thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Hello and thank you for joining us. I'm Nancy Kachingira. For the first time since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, is visiting Germany. In the last hour, he was greeted by the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, with whom he is now holding talks. Germany has just announced its biggest sum of military aid to Ukraine yet, $3 billion. That's about £2.4 billion. Well, earlier, Mr. Zelensky was received by President Frank-Walter Steinmeier. The trip comes just a day after a visit to Italy, where he met the Italian Prime Minister, the President and the Pope. Let's cross to our correspondent Jenny Hill in Berlin. Jenny, thank you for joining us. Germany is definitely pulling out all the stops for President Zelensky on this visit.
Yes, indeed it is. First of all, from the formalities and ceremonial perspective, he's had the full military honours at the Chancellery, as you've said. He also met the German President early this morning, Frank-Walter Steinmeier. And while he was there, Mr. Zelensky thanked the German people, describing Germany as a true friend and a reliable ally. He's now holding talks with the Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, and streets around here are closed off. There are snipers on the rooftops, special police forces going up and down the river behind me here. Security, as you'd expect, extremely tight. Mr. Zelensky, as he arrived overnight, actually had his plane escorted by 2 German Air Force fighter jets. So that's the formalities, the ceremony. But then Germany is also really pulling out the stops, as you put it, in terms of what it's now offering Mr. Zelensky, and what a welcome gift. 2.7 billion euros worth of weapons, including tanks and anti-aircraft systems. That approximately doubles what Germany had given so far in terms of military aid, to give you an idea of the size of that package. And that is something which will no doubt have gone down very well with Mr. Zelensky as he's talking with Olaf Scholz at the moment. We expect those talks to conclude in the next 10 minutes or so. It'll be very interesting to hear what they had to say to each other. We're not quite sure how much we'll hear about that, of course, but we hope we'll be able to bring you a little bit more about that later on.
And what's behind the way that Germany's support for Ukraine is evolving? Because in the past there has been some reluctance. There was some backlash from other Western countries, for instance, when Germany was hesitant to provide Ukraine with its Leopard tanks. But now we're seeing, a $3 billion military package.
Yeah, I mean, if we'd had this conversation just over a year ago, neither of us would have believed that Germany would be sending weapons into an active conflict zone. That went against every principle in post-war modern Germany. And this country really has evolved during the course of this conflict, from being very hesitant about what kind of support it was prepared to send. At first it was ridiculed actually for sending helmets to the Ukrainian army. Then all the way through a debate about whether or not it should be sending battle tanks. Germany extremely reticent, always at the back of those, saying they really didn't want to commit those kind of troops. Now there's a debate about fighter jets, of course. Germany among the NATO members who doesn't think that that's a good idea at the moment. One of the arguments being they're concerned about supplying Ukraine with the kind of weaponry that means it could, in effect, attack Russia on Russian soil, although Ukraine has vehemently denied any suggestion that it would want to do that. These will be the kind of discussions going on in the Chancellery between Mr. Zelensky and Olaf Scholz, of course. But, it's very interesting when you look at that meeting early this morning with the German President, Frank-Walter Steinmeier. A lot has changed in the last year. You might remember, actually, that Kyiv initially made it very clear to the German President, who was planning a trip to the city, that he wasn't welcome there. And that was in part because of of Germany's rather hesitant stance over weapon deliveries, but also because of Germany's previous involvement when it came to trying to resolve some of that conflict, the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine. Frank-Walter Steinmeier is formerly the foreign minister of Germany. He was one of the architects of those Minsk agreements. Remember those, the attempts by France and Germany to get Ukraine and Russia to sit down and try to come to some kind of ceasefire, if not a longer lasting agreement to stop the conflict in eastern Ukraine. That seems like a very long time ago, of course, now. It appears to be water under the bridge between Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Steinmeier, who was initially accused perhaps of having rather too pro-Russian a stance. That's all changed. We don't know a great deal of what was said between the two men. Perhaps we'll hear a bit more about that later on, but it certainly gives you an idea of just how much has shifted in this country and within that relationship over the last year or so.
All right, thank you very much, Jenny, for that bit of context. And just to let our viewers know, what you're seeing on the screen next to me is what we're expecting to be a press conference there from President Zelensky and the German leaders that he's been meeting. So we'll keep an eye on that and, of course, bring you any lines that come out of that. As we have been saying, President Zelensky is in Germany meeting with Chancellor Olaf Scholz, and we'll have all the latest for you as it comes in.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive live on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Welcome back to Voices right here on Win FM 98.9. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Devonne.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all right. Listening to your news at midday, you realize just how much those guys in Europe are paying for this war?
Hmm.
You know, it's outrageous. I mean, you could have used those billions you could have put those billions to much better use. All right? There are many more important things that you could have been doing with that money. But the West and Russia, I think, are being led by some really foolish leaders who don't see the futility of the war. Okay? Because the West is going to keep supplying arms to Russia to Ukraine, as long as it intends to fight. And Russia is not going to let Ukraine win. It's probably use its nuclear weapons for us to create that buffer they want between NATO and themselves. right? So it's almost stalemate right now, right? They should have left well alone instead of pushing the world to the brink as they did. Because obviously we are being influenced, the rest of the world is being influenced by this war. It's not a world war, but the world is feeling the effects. Right? And yes, Putin started the war, he started the hostilities, but he was provoked. Right? I mean, the United States, I'm sure, would not want a hostile neighbor. And so why would Russia want a hostile neighbor? They should have left well alone, leave things as it was before the war before the war started, right? And now we are in this mess, and nobody seems to know how to get out of it. Okay, there's no end in sight. Even the rest of the world, they're not putting pressure on the combatants to stop. The United Nations, all the other countries in the United Nations who are not involved, should be putting pressure on both the West and Russia to stop the madness. Right? I've never seen a war, or not many anyway, that was actually worth fighting, and the kind of losses that is being inflicted as we see in Ukraine. Right? Wars just lead to resentment, people becoming more resentful, and they're just precursors to other future wars.
Right.
People never forget and carry these things into the future. Next thing you know, another war breaks out. With regards what's happening in terms of the violence here, closer to home, right? It seems that it's time for another peace initiative, okay? Like the first one. Well, not like the first one, but at least in name.
Okay, in name.
Okay?
Yeah.
This time, we take the politics out of it, because I think in the first instance, somebody saw an opportunity to get political mileage from it and went and contaminate the process with the politics. Okay? I would have thought by now, after the years, and partly to, COVID hit, because we had such stringent measures in COVID, I think that contributed to a downturn in the number of, or reduced numbers in terms of the crime, okay? But it was clear that the problem was not solved. Okay, I would have thought by now we would have had some registry of who exactly the gang people were. I mean, if they were getting money, then at least there should have been a registry of them. Okay, a registry of the leaders. There should have been in the negotiations. It should have involved some kind of amnesty for guns, because obviously the guns are still out there, right? There should be more intelligence on who had committed murders in the past, because it's quite likely that it's the same people doing it now, right? There should have been that psychoanalysis that Sylvain talked about. I mean, what make young people feel that they can solve a problem by taking up a gun and shooting somebody else? You know? So I mean, that sounds like a serious mental problem, or psychological problem, which we should have used the respite during COVID and so on to try
to fix,
and bring in whatever psychologists or whoever to really find out what is the root cause, what make these young people do what they do, right? Why they feel that, it's better to take the risk and die before they're 25 rather than, trying to make a future for themselves and their families, So I think that we need a part two, and this time we do it right, not like the last time. Okay.
All right.
With regards to PAP, this is what happens when a well-intentioned program is effected in a misguided way. We just did not have the infrastructure for a program like that. Okay? And so it was not well thought out. It was hurriedly rolled out and incompetently administered, right? And then you add the pork barrel politics to that, and you have a recipe for disaster. Okay? The administrative infrastructure was absolutely needed, because how else would you determine that the right recipients receive the assistance? Right? I mean, and so the horror stories were predictable. How could it be fair, for instance, if all things being equal, somebody who is making, let's say, $2,900 a month, okay, gets $500, whereas somebody who's making $2,000 a month, again, all things being equal,
right,
would just get the same $500. There's no fairness in that. All right? What should have happened, I think, is that we should have decided on what exactly was it needed for a household to be out of poverty. And depending on the income of that household, you add accordingly. So, for instance, if we said that $3,500 was what is needed to lift a household out of poverty. If the household was making, let's say $3,000, then we just give them the $500. If they were making $2,500, they should get $1,000. Right? That is what should have happened, really, in a serious poverty alleviation program. And the reason why we have so many people who are feeling the loss of this, and by the way, I don't think government should just have closed down the program just like that and then started. I think they should have done the reassessment, the assessments and so on, and phase out people as opposed to just abruptly stopping any particular group. Okay? Do the case studies that are necessary. I think that would have been more acceptable to people. And certainly, again, if you're making $2,900 a month, what incentive is there for you to, let's say, either work overtime to go over the $3,000 threshold when you could get a free $500 straight out the door? Don't make sense, right? It also doesn't make sense, for instance, if there are two people who are, let's say, a couple who are each making $2,900, right? So both of them would be eligible for $500, right? What impetus is there? What incentive is there for them to, let's say, to come together and start a family, get married, whatever, and start a family, when straight out the door they're going to be losing $1,000? You see what I mean?
Right. So that is why the program constantly needs to be reassessed. Meaning people who are on the program, so you just don't accept their application, put them on the program, and you never check up on them again. Right.
Exactly. But again, there you would have people hiding their true worth, shall we say, because I'm sure there are people who are getting the money, but whether they might have had a second job or whatever, they probably would not declare that because they would lose it, right? And so, yes, and that's what I mean about the proper administrative infrastructure, right? Without that, the system is going to be abused. No matter how hard you try, the system is going to be abused because that's what people do, you know? And as you pointed out, who's going to want to give up $500 once they start getting it? The hardest thing to do, right, is to take people off an entitlement, right? Because however you look at it, they're going to feel it, right? $500 would definitely come in handy for a lot of people. And even if at some point there, and you ask how you should determine who, if people should be graduate from the program. Of course, people should graduate from the program. And they should want, I mean, who wants to make just the minimum throughout life? Right? They should be trying hard to get off the program by getting a better job or finding another source of income or whatever, but not to just stay there and be watching. Better don't go over 2,900, because if I do that, I can automatically have to come off the program. That is not what you want. That is not how you build a thriving society that is that is enterprising, right? You want to get people off of those kinds of entitlements. So, the government has its work cut out as to how to manage this going forward, right? But definitely there had to be some kind of reassessment, and I think the last count was in close to 8,000 people or something like that on the path.
I don't even remember the last figure.
I think getting some kind of government assistance, whether it's PAP or the COVID thing or whatever, or the peace or STEP, I don't know. There was about 8,000 people at one time. You know how many people that is? That's almost what? A third of Social Security, people on Social Security. Right. I mean, a third of the workforce, which means roughly a third of the workforce. Can a country really sustain that? A third of the workforce on some kind of government program? Oh man, that was crazy. Okay? Yes, there are people who need it, and they should be helped, but it's very good that the Prime Minister said that recognize that what is needed is for more opportunities for the government to provide more opportunities, create the climate for investment, so that more people get the kind of job opportunities and have the kind of investment opportunities, whether get their own business or whatever, to get off of this program. That should be the aim, the key aim. Okay, and 6 months, well, that's probably a convenient time to reassess each person, each case, and make sure that, they still qualify for the assistance. Because I would imagine some guy should get off of it, but there are others who might, whether through hard luck, lost a job or illness or whatever, there are some who might have to go on it, So it would be in a kind of flux situation. But we just can't have the numbers increasing like that. We just can't afford it. All right? So let's see what happens in the future. I think once people, and I'm sure people recognize all of this. I mean, this isn't rocket science. They know that it's not as sustainable as it is, and that some changes have to be made. It is to make sure that the changes that we make are least painful ones. Okay, because like I said, if you're getting it right now and suddenly stop, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So let's see what happens. I suppose they'll come up with some ideas as to how to make the program more sustainable going forward. All right, then.
All right, caller. Thank you for your contribution to this program. It is 12:45 here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9. We'll take a short break to acknowledge our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue the program for today.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. WIN FM.
It's tool season at Horsewood's Building and Nevis Center on St. Kitts and Nevis. Don't miss out on the year's best time to buy tools. Get 25% off selected tools store-wide. Hundreds of tools on sale. Slash by 25%. 25% off on tools for this tool season at Horsewood's Building Center on St. Kitts and Nevis. Horsewood's Building and Nevis Centers, the Federation's favorite home improvement stores. Some exclusions apply. See stores for details.
Welcome back to the program. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Devonne.
How are you
Let me
doing?
turn down my radio, please. Let me turn it down. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, eh?
Go ahead.
Devonne, I agree when people are speaking good things, good information. It is needed. But my good friend Iro, you must remember the program named Voices, not a voice. Iro, please have some consideration for other callers, man. Please, man, I'm begging you. He does make some good point, but give other people a chance. Now, let me go here with this crime thing and the gun. The gun them coming in here, they ain't jumping out of the sky in the sea water in a plane, out on a plane. They're coming in on the sea. And everybody who got the responsibility to check goods when they come in here, they should check from the top right down to the bottom of the container. Don't take nobody for granted and say, well, oh, the man there is a pastor, the woman there is a teacher, the man there is a police, the man there is a soldier, the man there is a fisherman. I don't believe they're going to do that. No. You got to check everybody. Because them who you think, who you might say, well, they ain't going to check me, man. Me a big man. Them there could use the position in life, the position in jobs, and smuggling things. Because nobody going to say, well, look, the man up there, he's a Christian man. He's nice, man. But a Christian man, you know what the Bible say about money? For the love of money is the root of all evil. Who can see $1,000 bill in the road and pass it? And say, me want that there because it's my enemy, drop it. Everybody can pick it up. Now, the country have enough police and soldiers to set them around the borders. Set them around every night, not just a police car passing in night and go park up. The Coast Guard make one swing so and then they go back up, go park up. No, you got to stay on the seawater and let the satellite them pick up what out there because the perpetrators them, they cope the law enforcers when they're not present and do their work. So I'm saying this, soldiers and police supposed to comb the borders of the hillside and look at boats coming in and then contact the Coast Guard and then come and check them. Don't let nobody pass. Because where these guns coming from, we don't make them. And they know they're coming from them big countries out there. It's about time we stop it. And I think every country should be able to sue the company that make these guns. Because the gun don't have no warning that it could kill people. So why they can't sue them? Cigarette, what could give people cancer? The box have on warning, the surgeon warn that cigarette smoking can cause cancer. And they just sue the cigarette company and they win the cigarette company. Why they can't sue the gun company? Something is wrong somewhere. Yeah, something is wrong. Every minute you could hear gun. Where they getting? How me can see where they must sell them? How I don't know? And me nearly old like Methuselah. And all kind of people, young and old and middle aged, and all kind of people who they want to do Maldau. They're getting gun. because enough searching, thoroughly searching ain't going on. Not going on. You can order a container of food and they're going to say, oh, well, this is culture container. He's a good man. He ain't going to bring in no gun. He ain't bringing a gun. You see what they put in a boxing punching bag the other week to come in with no name on it? They put compressed marijuana in a boxing bag. So they're going to say, oh, man, nobody going to put marijuana. Nobody going to put a gun in the bag. In the EB. Right in the way you don't think it is, right in the EB. Anyway, let me move. Let somebody else get in, Devon. Thanks.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. You're listening to Voices right here on Win FM 98.9. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes,
Hello?
caller. Yes, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon. I just called to say that Ira McMahon, why they don't hire him to be advisor for the PAP? Because it seems like he have all the answers and everything for it. So I think they should hire him to be the director for the PAP. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Call us at 466-0989 or 662-0989. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. The caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Colin here.
And how are you today?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad for my age.
Awesome.
And good afternoon to the listeners home and abroad, Carl Brown here. Mr. Cornelius, I must say thanks to Miss Henry on Saturday. She did remind us that one of those housing program was done under the People's Action Movement, where the Labour government had to finish that housing project. You could ask the police if it is true that they are investigating a robbery in St. Paul's on Saturday morning where the attempted robber stole $10, a cell phone, and the keys for the homeowner vehicle. And also, on the PAP, it seems we've been advising these governments because, they come up with a lot of programs yearly, right? And give them different names. And we keep saying to them that there must be a working process where there must be graduation of these people, where they must be learning a skill, and in 6 months' time they are off of that program. And they either go work for themselves, companies, agencies, and so they move on and let other people come on. We have these programs here with some people and them for 20-something years. If we go way back to all the programs them before, right? Way back in the early years of the Labour government in 95 there, right? They had several programs come right up to the one with the former Honorable Doya Stefan, and up until now, STEP, PEP, and all these things. You got people and them for 20-something years that should never be. Right? So for this program, as the new government is saying that they are doing some restructuring, some remodeling and all kind of things, I hope that they are going to put in process that people come and to teach these people a skill and they are able to graduate and move on off the program after 6 months and let other people assemble themselves on the program and it continue. And there you will see a beneficial factor for not only themselves but the whole country, because then you will have a lot of entrepreneurs, you will have people starting up their own businesses, you will have people getting skilled workers instead of always have to be training. You will have people already done train, so come into your business, so it will be a benefactor for you and your business and for those people themselves. So that is what needs to be done about the program. And yes, deducting the Social Security Authority, yes, is a very good idea because it's going to help many people in the older years. Because we see so many people, we warn them about paying Social Security, and they say, no, me and take my money, and me want my money. And then when they get down now and nothing in the system, they regret it. So it's a good idea. And I would support the other elder man, our good friend always calling. Yes, we need another peace program. Yes, we can do some refining to it, but we do need another peace program, and it should be that they are taught and they must obtain some skill and then move off the peace program too. Peace program must not be for a year, 2 years, 3 years going on. No. You come on, you learn your skill, you graduate, and you move on. Whether to work for people, work for yourself, and let other people get on the program. I go on, so.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. This is Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open, and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or at 662-0989. If you are in USA or Canada, you can call us at 718-285-6984 or at 305-921-4619. And for the United Kingdom, call us at 033-344-0065. This is Voices for Monday, May 15, 2023. I'm your host for today, Devonne Cornelius. We are also live on our social media platforms. Check us out on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, Twitch, and Twitter. So the social assistance program, including the peace program, these programs are intended to be temporary. It's definitely not a situation where you launch these programs and 10, 15, 20 years later, the same set of people that were on the program at its inception are still on the program years later. And so the question must be asked, this program really benefiting the people? Are people gaining the benefits from these programs, And then people begin to question the purpose of the program, of these programs, and all of that, People begin to question the purpose of these programs. But imagine you have a poverty alleviation program, a social assistance program, and you have, let's say, 500 people who apply at the inception of the program, and at least 4 out of the 5 or 450 out of the 500 are on the program 5 years later, the very same. Then the question, is the program working? Are people benefiting from the program? And when I say benefit, the benefit is not just the $500, but the name says it, poverty alleviation, to fix or improve, rather. Improve is the word. Your situation. This is Voices for Monday, May 15, 2023. I'm Devonne Cornelius. It is 1 o'clock here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9. Let's acknowledge our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Horsford's Value Club Blue Tag Special.
Running May 4th to the 17th.
Now your Value Club Blue Tag Specials. Pillsbury Cake Mix, just $6.49. Bush Baked Beans, $7.99. Essential Everyday Grated Parmesan, $11.99. Essential Everyday Frozen Fries, just $13.99. Bounty Essential Paper Towel, $39.99. Pringles chips is just $8.49. And now your very low weekly
Value deals. Gatorade $4.49. Mueller's pasta $5.99. Kellogg's Special K $15.49. Minute Maid punches $8.99. Essential Everyday Salsa $9.99. Dial Soap 3-pack $9.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Welcome back to the program. Let's head to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Yes, Mr. Cornelius, Carl Brown again. Mr. Cornelius, a little reminder why I am so adamant with these Trinidad company. I mean, look at our football stadium. That was mainly that was under a Trinidad company with the assistance of local contractors, but Trinidad company was up in front. I mean, look at the condition of that. I mean, they could not have built that in Trinidad. We all know that. There's no way they could have built that in Trinidad. Right? So I know the history of these Trinidad company and the failures. Right? The other thing concerning this housing thing, we are asking the question again, Mr. Cornelius, that we need the head advisor, Mr. Ellen Barrow, to come and tell us how much money this Trinidad company is paying us for our land that they are going to be building these houses on. We need to know how much per square foot that the government and them what deal they work out per square foot, and the amount of square foot each person is going to receive for their land for owning these homes. So we are waiting on Mr. Ellen Barrow to come sometime this week and to inform the public, and if not Mr. Ellen Barrow, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Prime Minister, the public wants to know how much we are selling these land for, how much square foot each person going to be getting for a home, and the cost per square foot for this Trinidad company that we are going to be selling them. Because we know a number of companies has come here and a number of organizations, and they get the land them next to nothing, and we who here, who our forefathers and we ourselves who have worked these land, get these land at a way higher price, when the foreigner was supposed to be paying a higher price. Are gone.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. This is Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That's 466-0989 or 662-0989. Voices for Monday, May 15, 2023. It is 5 minutes past the 1 o'clock hour in the PM, and we wrap up this program at 1:30. Thank you for your contribution thus far. We want to hear from you, your thoughts on things happening in the St. Kitts and Nevis matters of national importance. The people have been commenting on the poverty alleviation program, the housing project launched, or initiative launched by the government, and NHC has also been a major talking point as well. The phone lines are open. Let's head back and we'll take some more calls. Caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Devonne, I had to come back here. Now, Devonne, you see, where you got to be, one has to be careful when they're selecting people for certain position in jobs. Some years ago, at our Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw Airport. A plane was on its way to Antigua, and the passengers were in transit at our airport. And the passenger, his movement was very suspicious. And a trained, honest custom officer from Keyon, he observed the movement of this passenger, and then he do his check with his luggage. And when he checked that big suitcase full of illicit weed, and when the customer realized that the custom officer don't got him, he offered the custom officer bribe money, a lot of money, and the custom officer tell him, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here to do what I'm doing. You hold the money. Nobody could bribe me with my work. And from there, it was the procedure had to go to the court, and the man solved what he had to solve and pay his money. And you know, a lot of people were cussing the custom officer, telling the custom officer about he's stupid and all this kind of thing. He should have taken the money. But the custom officer let his conscience be his guide. And he know if he take that money, it could have been even worse than he and the giver of the money alone know about it. Because if he take that money, and the culprit could have go and chat and say, well, then he pay a custom officer and sink it to get that here. And then who knows? News don't say one place. So what I'm saying is that whether you work seaport, airport, custom officer, immigration, at these ports, everybody's supposed to do the work thoroughly and don't take nobody for granted. None, absolutely none. Because the good hymn said, the arm of flesh will fail you. You dare not trust your own. And in the Bible, he said, do not let the left hand know what the right hand know. Thank you, Devonne.
And thank you, Carla, for your contribution
Okay.
to the program. This is Voices on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open, and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or at 662-0989. You can also call us at 718-285-6984 or 305-921. Sorry, 718-285-6984 or 305-921-4619. And for those of you in the United Kingdom, call us at 033-344-0065. I'm your host for today, Devonne Cornelius. We are taking your calls and to get your views and opinions on matters of national interest here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Just an update. I'm seeing something here from the St. Kitts Music Festival. Says preparations are underway. Venue preparations underway for 25th anniversary celebration. It says that venue preparations for the 25th anniversary of the St. Kitts Music Festival are underway, with the historic Warner Park Stadium set to host the 3-day event from June 22nd to 24. The Parks and Beaches unit is currently hard at work clearing the grounds of the former Bastia High School, which will serve as a spacious and convenient parking lot for the upcoming St. Kitts Music Festival. The festival committee has placed a strong emphasis on improving parking arrangements this year, and the use of the former high school site is part of this effort. Preliminary work has also begun well ahead of the schedule at the Warner Park Stadium, the historic venue where the festival will take place. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Tiwana Wharton, conveyed her appreciation to the Executive Committee led by Chairman Alistair Williams for their outstanding work thus far in the preparatory stages of the upcoming mega event in June. She's currently proud. She's particularly proud, that the team has accomplished so much and is ahead of schedule. Says the decision to return to Warner Park has been well received by festival goers who are excited to experience the festival in this iconic venue once again. Sinkis Music Festival, June 22nd to 24 at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. That's an update from the Sinkis Music Festival Committee in terms of preparations that are ongoing there. Parking lot, the Barstead High School grounds. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. A caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Brother Devonne.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, Brother Devonne, this afternoon I want to ask the question. You all the refuse to take anybody call for calling and voices? You all got any specific number you all just choose, and when you see that number you all answer?
No.
No, the reason for me to ask you this question, right? Because a lot of people meet me and I complain and tell me that must call in and say this and must call in and say that. Because what happened from when it happened? I tell them, man, listen, you got your phone calling. They say something when they call in, they can't get in. I say, anyway, it ain't been FM1 got a calling show program, You got Frank and Candid, 11 o'clock in the morning. You got Freedom, I think the program starts either 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. And you got other different talk show. But it's something to me like some people don't want anybody to be here. and got an issue, I don't want to bring it out publicly. Some people refuse to, the word again. Took up on social media with the thing, no problem. But you, who got a problem? Digging you out, burning you out. Who could come on the radio and put it over just like how you put it over and tell me? Are you calling me? Even some Nevis people calling me and putting problem to me. You must call in and say that, you must call in and say that. Eh? Weekend a guy call me, tell me some problem he got in Nevis. I tell him, man, he got talk show program. You go call him on Sankan, you go call him on Voices. You go call him when you're on the mark program. This is where the program is from. For. Not to discriminate nobody. You understand? I'm not from the talk show host, them but politically biased. And sometimes when you call in, they want to let you express your views. Because maybe something you ain't talking what they want to hear. But Devonne, I'm getting fed up. People got the issues and afraid to come out and talk about the issues. You understand? Who could do better than them if they got a problem? Okay, then, Devonne, good afternoon, Sylvain. I'm going to try to get some time to you. I'm going to give money. I'm going to send them with money you need.
All
Okay,
right.
then, Devonne, you take care.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. One of the reasons why people refrain from sharing their views on things that happen in the country is, I think the main reason is for fear of victimization. It is for fear of victimization. There's something that is bothering you. It's a concern. And it's not just affecting you individually, but it is affecting people in your community, people around you, people who depend on you. But for fear of victimization, people just stop talk. And, I could sometimes understand why. But caller, you put it, you've said it the best. Who can put across an issue better than you yourself? If there is something that is important to you and you're concerned, you're the only person who can address that appropriately and properly. But it is victimization, so people will listen and they will, participate in the discourse privately within the comfort of their homes or within, their own circle. But in terms of getting what we would say vocal, and it doesn't have anything to do with choosing sides, but you just coming out to say, but you know what, I see, and I've seen it for myself, especially now I think it's Nevis politics, where supporters of different parties could get so disrespectful. There's nothing wrong with you defending your party or defending your as we would say, your government. Especially if a case where somebody is speaking on something and you have the information, you know what they're saying is incorrect, and so you're just stating the facts and you're saying, hey, this is the case. I don't have an issue with that. But there's some people, boy, when you seek to whether you criticize constructively or not, boy, then put some word in you. Whether it is sarcastically or whatever. So it's victimization. People are afraid to talk, and that's the reality. Nobody wants to lose their job. It's the protect the mortgage syndrome. People want to look at what is best for them, and that's absolutely fine. I could understand that. And so that is why people would, call, text, whatever, and say, hey, can you bring this to the fore? Can you bring this to the fore? But sometimes you guys have to stand up for yourselves. You guys gonna have to stand up for yourselves. It's never going to get better if you don't stand up for yourself and say exactly what you have to say. But caller, long story short, victimization. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Okay, we see. Hi, caller. You're on the air. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
You have to turn off the radio, caller.
Yes, I have. I have a concern. I don't know.
Caller, you have to turn off the radio. I'm getting too much feedback.
Yes, I have a concern.
Yeah,
right?
Go ahead, caller.
The concern is, should banks and financial institutions be shutting down 2 o'clock the day when they're denying their customers who are paying them for operate the service that they should be giving them from 8 to 4? That is a concern I really want us to discuss as a people. Because after dial for this, dial for that, that is disturbing. You know what I mean? And on top of that, they're shutting you down at 2 o'clock. And then there's a phone recording coming and tell you, we're open to the public between 8 to 2. And because they're open to the public 8 to 2, they're giving you all their times up. Nobody answering the phone. And I'm saying customers are paying their salary. And it shouldn't be. When the rule is, and when you go to the business places, there's a sign that says operating hours 8 to 4. But they're shutting you out at 2 o'clock. And I think that we need to address this issue. And the public need to quiet about it. The central bank needs to do something about it. And I think the government needs to do something about it. The business hours is 8 to 4. They shouldn't be shutting out customers 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and then you can't even call them on the phone. When you're paying their salary, it's your business paying their salary. What they should do is adjust their staff, okay? Rotate their staff so that they could accommodate business up to the business working hours. And I would like to hear more people weighing on this matter, because I think it's discouraging, demoralizing the service to the public who's paying their salary. And that is my intake. That's my input.
All right, Carter, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. This is Voices here on WINNFM 98.9. If I understand your question or concern correctly, you're wondering about why do businesses, particularly financial institutions, close at 2, 1, 3? From my understanding, is so that they can process the various withdrawals, deposits, and all of that. So if the financial institutions are to close at, let's say, 4 or 5 each day, then their staff would be working more than 8 hours per day. Because if you look at the banks and the other financial institutions, the staff arrive by let's say between 7 and 8. I know some people who are at banks by 7:10 and 7:15. And so if the banks are to close every day at 4 and 5 o'clock, then you're going to find a situation where people are going to be in these financial institutions from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., maybe 8 p.m., and that's unhealthy because they have a number of transactions to process. They have to close the doors as early as they possibly can to get the work done so that the people who work at these financial institutions can be home by 6, 7 p.m. the latest, right? So that is the understanding that I have as it relates to that. Carla, when you spoke about, the telephone system, I mean, there is nothing better than when you call a business place and a human being answers the phone. Somebody who got manners, though, because you have some very rude people out there, but a very warm and pleasant voice and, greeting you on the phone. And then there's nothing more annoying than when you call a business place and you spend 3 minutes on the phone before you get to where you actually want to go because automated this, automated that. But at the same time, these are some of the ways that companies are trying to save money. And so instead of hiring somebody to answer the phone, they're now using an electronic system that answers the phone for them. And so maybe they're saving $30,000 a year with this automated system that they install for maybe $10,000, and perhaps would cost them $5,000 annually to maintain. So it's all about cutting costs and all of that. I do understand your concern, Carla, and to some extent I agree with you. When you are a paying customer, you want to get good service, and I absolutely agree, and I love that. But from my understanding, the financial institutions, realistically, they cannot close every day at 4 and 5 o'clock hours. We're going to be asking these people who are people just like us, have families just like us, to be in the banks at 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 o'clock. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls. Let's head back to the phone lines and take this one. Hello, caller.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, my brother politics. You laughing? I'm laughing at you. I want you a long time. I tell you already. Only talk about issues that affecting the country. Since they want you to talk for them, and they have you out there as their conscience, I understand that some of them really afraid that they get victimized with their job. I could understand that part. If they're going to talk about something that a politician or any government member is doing and it is wrong, even though they speak out against that member of government doing wrong, the government will still find a way to victimize them. So I could understand why they just call us to say certain things. But things that they can speak about, like, for instance, if a lamppost leaning over the road, I don't see why people afraid to call a talk show and tell them there's a lamppost leaning over Timbuktu Road and somebody need to go and fix that. I could understand that. They can't victimize nobody for saying that. But when you get to them, when you expose what they might do, they don't like that. So they jump on him quick, put down your name on a book to be victimized, to fired, turn him away. So therefore, I could understand, and I share with them. Now, there is a problem going on down at Virtuals High School, and it's very, mine by the way, it's troubling. And an individual called me about a week and a half ago to relate this story to me, and I was busy, and I told that individual, call me back and let me listen to the story. Then I would know if that is something that I could say any hour on the clock, or that individual should not be afraid to say it. So I'm still waiting on that individual to call me and tell me about the problem down in Virtuals High School. That individual has a student going there and is suffering because of that problem. But anyway, let somebody else get the couple minutes. Devonne, see you tomorrow.
Oh, well, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. This is Voices for Monday, May 15, 2023. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you so much for joining the conversation. Let's head back to the phone lines, and we'll take some more calls. A caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon again, Devon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I see God here, we know a prayer here in some rain dropping. Any? Now, let me get to this thing about people just coming. Mrs. Henry, I just give them the number. You hear? 466-0989 or the next one. But victimization is real. The aim is to intimidate you. I am too old for that. Sometimes my children and my grandchildren complain about the victimization, the denial of services or whatever that they are entitled to as citizens of this country. Say, well, Mommy, you must stop talking on the radio. Say, not me. And they put people in the way. There's one show I used to call at a certain time. I just stop because there are some people who allow other people to come on and personally abuse you and your family with the intention that they would intimidate you. This time, you're giving them information, knowledge that they don't have. People complain about Mr. McMahon. I listen to him. Oh, I ain't want to hear Sylvine. Well, if you don't want to hear Sylvine and nobody is telling you what you're going to do, you're going to live in ignorance. Victimize, yeah. Denied all sorts of privileges under more than one government. And I totally refuse to shut up. I tell people I don't like politicians, I think that is where the mistake is. They hold your privileges as a citizen over your head. Politicians do it. Or there are people in their what you call it again now? Constituency, right? And some of them look at it like they're paid to harass people, but and you can't speak. Now look at the letter that came from the police. That's intimidation, you don't think so? Devon?
Yes, I do. I read the letter and it was boy. I don't know, but it was.
It abusive.
Strong. Yeah, it was strong.
Yeah, it wasn't strong. It was out of order. Now, if the person decides to write back one now, they'll fire them. I used to stand up to ministers of government,
Look,
I told one time, let me tell you something. You commit me, you're going to leave me.
I'll say this, caller, right? Stick a pin. I'll say this much, right? I can understand that if something is not true and you want to clear the air, that is fine. But that particular letter was like a two backhand slap, boy.
Look, the police did not write that. Listening to the words used and the way it was said, all right. Then who write it? The police commissioner. He has more sense than that. This one is controlling what goes out, calling the communication propaganda and abuse. And having read it, they should withdraw it because you're saying to the people involved, where posters about shut up or hush? You remember that?
No, I can't recall that one.
Yeah, when Labor Day march, they had posters up. You must shut your mouth. I ask again, is this Cuba, China, or Russia, or North Korea? We can't speak. I mean, it is insulting. If you have a problem, you call it to officers, right? And you speak to them. You don't address them in the public like that. Because if they were to answer back, you'll hear how they like the word insubordination. A lot of them have no respect for people.
But at the same time, caller, to be fair, people need to be mindful of what they say. You need to fact check your stuff before you talk.
I always say that. I believe in that. Because that's why I corrected Carl. Because, I work in a position where I knew who do what. So sometimes people tell you, boy, go say so and so. And you, before you check it. Because anybody could fact check me, you know. Statistician is what I was. You could fact check me. But this thing about shutting down dissent. I mean, I am surprised that this government going say, well, oh, it's a new thing, and new this and new that. And every attempt is being made. And on the shows. Eh?
All right.
Hush your mouth. Well, anyway, if you don't want to have your rights, if you shut up now, you can't talk later. All right, then.
All right, Carter, thank you for your contribution to this program. This has been another edition of Voices